everyone, Alabitar here. Today in this video I will show you a user voice application. It's a PowerApp application. So basically this application has the functionalities that we can find in a user voice application. You can see the different ideas that has been submitted. You can see their status, if there is some attachment, do some commenting. You can see the number of votes. You can vote also for an idea, and you can create an idea and submit a new idea and do some filtering as well. Regarding the data sources of my application, I'm saving everything in SharePoint list. Basically, I have 4 different SharePoint lists. One list is this idea list, where I have the title, the description, the feedback, the number of votes, and the different labels for an idea. I have an idea status to handle the status of an idea. I have the comments to handle the comments for every idea, and I have this votes SharePoint list, where I'm using it to prevent a user for being able to vote for the same idea more than once. So if we go to the studio, we can see that my application is made of 3 different screens. The home screen is to display the different ideas and provide a button to create a new idea. The comments is to handle for the comments, and the submit idea is to handle the creation of a new idea. But if we will go screen by screen from top to bottom. So the first component that we have is a component. So it's called the header. I call it header. It's basically a simple component where I have a rectangle, a label, and an icon. And this icon, the unselect event of this icon, is binded to the back function. It is for letting user be able to navigate across the application. Good. Then we have this text box and this combo box. The combo box is binded to the labels, the different labels. So if I just click play, you can see they're displaying all the different labels that are binded to an idea, and they are defined here in the SharePoint column in the choices section. Good. And then we have a button, suggest idea, that is basically putting a form called form idea in its new mode for creation and navigating to the submit idea screen. Then we have tabs it's a gallery to let the user maybe filter a bit the different ideas. So basically the items of the tab, the data sources, is hard coded. I have my, hot, and the latest my is we will do some filtering to display only the ideas that were created by me. The hot ideas is the ideas that has more than four votes, and the latest is to display the idea that has been created since 3 days or something like that. We have another gallery as well. It's the most important one. It is the gallery that is displaying all the information related to the idea. So basically, we have the title. Oh, but before going to this gallery, let's see the items. So as I was telling you, it is binded. We are displaying the different ideas. So first, I'm doing a switch to see where what's the which tab has been selected. So I'm doing a switch here, and then if it is the hot tab that were selected, we'll do some filtering around the ideas data source. So basically, because we just not only want to display the current how can I say it, the ideas that are hot, for example, if I selected the hot tab, but also we want to take in consideration if the user has done some filtering. So basically, what we can do is to see if what has been written in the text box, if it is in the title or the description of the idea, and I want to handle the labels. So the labels are it's a field that can contain multiple values. So the trick that I'm using is I'm like transforming the all the value into a single one using the concat function. So basically, it's taking all the values that were selected in my combo box field, putting it together and concatenating their values. And I'm doing the same with the labels column. So like that, I'm able to see if the label that I selected in my combo box here is present in any idea. And for to see the hot items, I'm adding a last filter to see if the number of votes has to be bigger than 4. For the latest tab, basically it's the same first part of the filtering, but I'm then filtering on the created date. So created has to be bigger than the latest day, and this it is just a variable that I'm initiating in the onStart event of the application, putting it to 3 days ago. And the last one is to filter the same basic filtering, and just the particular one I'm filtering on the created by email. It has to be the email of the current user. So I know you see there's a lot of double lines here, which PowerApps is telling me that I have some delegation issue. For this video, I will leave them, and I will do another video, another tutorial, in order to see what we can do to prevent the delegation issues, or at least to what extent we can prevent it. Good. So if we continue, so basically in the gallery I have a title to display the title of the idea. I'm displaying also the picture of the user. I have this icon. It's a smiley face. It's to vote for an idea. So basically, on the unselect event, so when a user clicks on the smiley face, what I'm doing, I'm patching my idea data source. Patching is like to create or update an item in a data source. So what I'm doing, I'm patching on the ideas data source. So it is this SharePoint library. I'm patching the current item, and I'm patching the votes property when I'm just adding one to the current to the current number of votes. So this is to handle this column. So it will go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I'm also patching the votes data source. So this one, I'm patching it. So I'm creating an entry. So I'm patching votes. I create an object with the default values. And what I want to bind is the idea column. Because if we double check here, the votes SharePoint list has an idea, which is a lookup column to the main ideas list. So as it is a lookup column, we have to put this little JSON format for PowerApps to be able to update the field properly. And using this, if we go to the display mode of the icon, what I'm doing, I'm just checking if the current user for the current idea is present in the votes list. So if a user already is present for a specific idea, I'm disabling the icon. If not, it means that for this idea, the current user did not vote. So I put the edit mode, the mode in edit. I'm putting the display mode in edit mode to let the user be able to click. So then what we have this label to display the number of votes. I have a label to display some info, the display name of the user who created the idea, and the date time. I have also a field that is just displaying the number of comments. So I'm just counting rows and filtering my idea comments data source with the current idea. So and adding the comments label. So when we go to the unselect event, now I am putting another form in a new mode, form add comment. I'm putting the selected, the current item, the item where we select that in a variable selected idea and navigate to comments. This is a nice best practice when you want to navigate to a screen and you want to pass, for example, like this, this comment button. I want to go to my comments screen, but I want to pass it like it's like an object. If it's like we are passing an object to a different screen through this variable, it's better to put your object in a variable and use this variable in your screen than to reference from the screen a component that is present on another screen. We could use, you know, the gal ideas dot selected dot value, and I could access the property of the selected item. But it's for performance issue, it is better to put your item in a variable and then use the variable. Good. So okay. So this was for the comments. For the labels, I'm just concatenating with just a space the different labels. This one is nice. The attachment icon. So it's the paperclip icon. And what I'm doing on the unselect event is I'm putting the attachment of the current item in a variable, and I am triggering the onReset event of a component called display attachment. Display attachment is a component. It is present here. Basically, it's a component that has three input custom property and one output property. The output property is in fact for the visibility of the component. So basically, it is to display the label and displaying an icon to open the attachment of an item. If we go back to see the different properties that we have, the display attachment, as attachment, it is binded to the selected attachment variable. So each time I'm clicking on the paperclip button, I'm updating the selected attachment variable, so it will display the correct ones. Unfortunately, I didn't find another way but to put this server URL hard-coded. It's not that big deal because we know the context where we are, so it's not really a big deal. And the item ID is binded to the selected item ID of my gallery. So when I go back to my component, and when I go to the select item, to the unselect event, what I'm doing is launching the absolute URI of the item, and I'm just adding like $?web equals 1 to force the document to open in the browser, in the web browser. So if it's a Word document, it will open in the browser. It would not ask you to download it then to open it in your Office application. Good. Then what we have the status. So it's a label. What I'm doing is, for me, if the idea is not present in the idea status SharePoint list, for me it means that it is in pending mode. If it's present, this is why I'm doing a lookup. If it's present, I will display the title property, so the current status. If we go to the unselect event of this label, I'm just putting the current status in a variable, and then I'm updating a Boolean variable show pop-up. The show pop-up is let me show it to you. If I click on the status, I'm displaying this pop-up menu where I can change the status of the idea and put some feedback. So sorry for the UI and the layout of this pop-up. I'm sure you will do much better than me, but for me what was important is to show you the functionalities. So here I can say, for example, let me take a new one, one that is pending. I can click on it, I can hit the started and say it is going to happen. Hit the start, the save button, and then it will update, and you see it updated, and the change is in started mode, and the feedback is displayed just beside the description. So I was able to do that. We have a closer look to this label. status label. So okay, when I click, I put the current status in a variable, and I'm showing the pop-up. If we go back to just click the pop-up to display, what we have, okay, we have this icon to close the pop-up. We have what's important is this rich text field and a gallery. A gallery, I've put the different status. I hard-coded them, so no, nothing really fancy. But what is important is when I select, when I select the label, it will go to the unselect of the parent, and here what we are doing, we are updating a variable selected status to the current selected item, and the icon to save the new status does two things. Basically, it create or update an element in the idea status SharePoint list. As you can see, I'm doing a lookup. If no status is found, it will just create for me a default one, and I'm setting the title property to the selected status and binding the correspondent idea. So this was for the idea status, and then I'm updating I'm patching the ideas data source and updating the current selected idea. I'm updating the feedback, and here the feedback I'm just adding the feedback. So each time you change the status, you add a feedback. You're not overriding the feedback. You're appending to it. Good. Chuk. We go back. Oh, right. Okay, this was the label, and then those the two other are to display the description and to display the feedback. If we go to the comments now, so the comments we are displaying the number of comments, and when I select, I'm going to this comments screen. So basically, the comments screen is it has a gallery that is binded to the idea comments data source, and it is displaying the current comments for an idea. Just nothing fancy here, just display the comments, the display name and the created date, and the picture of the user who created the comments. And then we have a form to create a comment. What is interesting here is, as you can see, my form has two data cards, but I'm only displaying one of them because the other data card is the idea. When you want to let the user to add a comment, you will not ask the user to select the idea, because he already selected the idea in a way, because he was here and he clicked on the comments for a specific idea. So the trick is, if we go to the data card, the data card value, I bounded the data card to the ideas item. By default, when you create a form that is binded to a SharePoint list data source, and when you have this lookup in your data source, SharePoint will bind the data card, the combo box data card, to the name of your data source dot the name of your lookup. I don't know why I wasn't able to associate a default selected item. Maybe because I'm not sure about the reason, but I will do some digging. Basically we have this data card that is binded to the items data source, and then we have the selected item. The default selected items is the parent.default value, and the default value, the default property, sorry, is the component, the variable selected idea. And one last thing, in order for when you hit the save button and when you call the submit form, for the submit form to to work, for the update event, what I'm doing, I am doing a lookup on the idea command, where I'm looking for the idea that the idea comments idea ID, sorry, that has been selected, basically. Good. And other than that, it is really a simple screen. I'm calling the submit form event, and I'm putting again my form in the new mode. Good. And the last thing is the suggest idea button. Basically, it's also very simple. I'm putting my form idea in the new form mode, and I'm navigating to the submit idea screen. And basically, the submit idea screen is very simple. It is a form that is binded to the ideas SharePoint list data source. I'm displaying the different fields that we are using, the title, labels, description. I'm not displaying the feedback because the feedback for me is comes later when someone changes the status of an idea. It is at that point that we feel feedback, but you can change the way things are. It's for everyone to be able to play with it. It's this app will be your app, you know. All right, yeah, I just remember one thing that I didn't show you. As I don't want, and you probably you as well, you don't want to let any user be able to change the status of an idea. We can use the permission on the idea status SharePoint list. And what I've done is just on the display property, on the display mode, I'm checking if the current user using the data source info function, I'm checking if the current user has create permissions on the idea status data source. If yes, I'm letting the user changing the data source. And yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to post any comment, any feedback. Will be highly appreciated. All right, bye bye guys, see ya.